Alright, so we're going to move into our next lesson, which is going to be about lists. But first, I want to mention a thing that might help you speed things up a little bit. I would create a template. So you basically just create a new file, make sure it's an HTML file, and just type all of this basic stuff that's going to be in every one of your websites. So you type the doc type HTML, the HTML open, make sure the close is down here at the bottom, open the head, close the head, open the body, close the body, come back into the head, put your title tags, make sure you fill that in on your next file. Meta character set, UTF-8, meta name, viewport, content width equals device width, initial scale 1. All of this is going to be your basic foundation and on every one of the websites you make. Later we might add some things specifically into the head section, but that is going to be a case-by-case basis. And then, of course, anything that you type in the lesson is going to show up in the body section. So if you can just copy and paste this to your newest assignments from a template, it's going to make your life a lot easier. I've also posted this into the intro to the web section, HTML template. I put it in text form and how it looks in the picture in the Studio Visual Code as well. Okay, so again, we just go File, New File. We need this to be in HTML. There it is. I'm going to come back over here, click and drag, select it, copy, paste. Already starting off. All right. So I'm going to save this one as lists. Yours you'll have to save eventually as something else, but for right now we'll just call it lists so that I know which one I'm referring to. All right, so let's take a look at our lesson here. All right, so there's many reasons to use a list on a website. This lesson should you the basics and give you practice creating different types of lists and adding lists to your website. All right, so we're going to have a presentation also, but I'm just going to go over these notes part of it, and then we'll update our web design notes. All right, so there's 4 main types of lists: unordered, UL tag, ordered, OL, description, DL, and you can put these inside of each other, and we'll go over that. All right, so here's our notes. Pause where you need to if you haven't caught up to this, so you can copy it down. Okay, so I just happen to be on a new page. There are 4 different types. Alright, so coincidentally, let's use a list. So we have the first one, which was the unordered list. Okay, this is going to be UL and /UL. Ordered lists. It's going to be OL. Let me double check. Yes. And then description. And then nested or a combination. I'm having trouble typing today. So let's go over some of these tags, and we'll add them to our tags. So we already wrote down these, so I'm not going to add them up into our kind of tag section that we have here. I am going to, however, add this one. This is a list item. This is basically going to add the content for the list. So if I'm writing down ingredients for a recipe, I would do an unordered list. So I do UL/UL and then inside of these tags I would do a list item, the first ingredient, another list item, the second ingredient, so on and so forth. Then here it says type equals I, designates that the character type will be a Roman numeral. Okay, so that's very specific to an ordered list. If you want your symbols to be in the Roman numeral type, we'll see an example of that here shortly. Then you need to type that type equals I. Okay, so that signifies that you need to start using Roman numerals. All right, you can use list item in ordered lists as well. So there's not like a specific one for unordered and a specific one for ordered, but you wouldn't use type I for Roman numeral in an unordered list. In a description list, terms and their definitions are listed usually in alphabetical order. So DL identifies that a description list is being used. And then DT is the description term, and DD is the definition. Okay, so let's write that down. Okay, so we had DT. This is the description term, like a vocab word. And then DD is the description definition, like the vocabulary meaning. All right. In a nested list, elements from ordered and unordered lists are combined to form sublists inside of a parent list. Okay, and in our presentation, we will go over that. All right, so let's go ahead and open this. All right, so really short. Make sure you pause this if you need to. So on the left here, you're going to see the code example, and then on the right, you're going to see what it would look like in a website form. Okay, so we have a heading 3, common fruits. Notice it is bold, and it is larger font size than the normal text. So UL, unordered list. Okay, so we have bullet points, and then list item pairs, list item apples, bananas, cherries, lemons. Okay, so you can see that this just creates a bullet point because we're telling it an unordered list. Now here is how an ordered list will appear. Okay, so it's the exact same thing as the unordered list. Okay, same format. Instead of UL, though, it's OL because it's ordered list. You're still going to use list items, but instead of it being bullet points, it's now going to start numbering 1 through however many lists you have. Order list with the Roman numeral. Okay, so you do OL type equals 1, and it'll start at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This isn't necessarily something you'll use all the time, but depending on the content, it might be helpful. So description list. All right. So H3 coffee drinks. DL tells it that it's going to be making a description list, so it's expecting you to have a DT and then a DD, DT and then DD. So for this instance, it's like a order, like coffee drink orders, and what's in the ingredients in it. All right, so that might be useful if you're doing like a menu for like a restaurant or something like that. All right. Nested lists. So this is lists inside of other lists. So here we have unordered lists. Okay. So it makes a bullet point for the list item Bellows College. And then it goes into an ordered list for restaurants that, or food that are at these restaurants. Okay. So spaghetti, chicken marsala, pain d'Anjou. So it goes from unordered bullet point, and then it goes into ordered numbered lists. Okay, and then goes over here to this name, and then lists off these foods that they have there, right? Always make sure you close what you open. Okay, list items close on that line, but unordered lists, ordered lists, and stuff like that will close at the bottom of each section. All right, so if you did an unordered list and then closed it here, it would not look the same down here. Okay, so you need to make sure you close and open things appropriately. All right, let's go back. All right. So here's what we're going to be doing. Yeah, we already should have made our list HTML and should have already copied over your template stuff. So we highly encourage students to actually type these early in short files into the text editor rather than copy and paste, help reinforce the element tags and syntax. So you obviously don't have access to this, but we will be typing it so that you do get that habit. All right. Now, in this one, it doesn't have the metadata. Okay, so we're just going to type out the title for our website, which is My List Site. All right. And then I'm going to make sure that I'm doing my commenting because there's going to be a lot of stuff here. And I don't want to get lost or if something doesn't look right. I need to know where to find it. Okay, so I'm going to do a heading 3. Common fruits. And then I'm going to make sure I have my indentions done correctly. Alright, I hit enter if y'all didn't see that. So it automatically completed my closing tag. And I just hit enter because I want to type my list items in between them. Alright, so list item, pairs. One downside to it auto-completing is you are always having to kind of click at the end and go to the next line. Alright, list item, apples. Click, enter, list item, bananas. List item, cherries. List item, lemons. Alright, so opened, closed, and it wants me to do a line break. So open, closed, I'm good. I'm going to do a line break. And I'm going to comment again. Alright, do another H3. And this one's going to be before driving. And we're going to do an ordered list, OL, enter. I'm already indented, so I'm going to do a list item. External check. List item. Okay, and then I'm going to do another line break. You don't have to include this / there. So now I'm going to do the Roman numeral.